Today's episode is sponsored by the 2023 Rhode Island Business Summit, presented by Stella Business Concepts on September 21st at the Event Factory in Warwick, Rhode Island. Join us to connect with B2B vendors, amazing networking opportunities, and guest speakers like Patricia Raskin, who will talk to you about podcasting for your business, leadership with Mary Sullivan, or customer retention with me, Erica Sicosio, and more. We have panelists, and we also have a very fun, amazing lunch and learn with Rhode Island comic Poppy Champlin. Tickets are on sale now. Visit our website at www.stellabusinessconcepts.com. See you there. Hey guys, it's Erica here with Practical Bizz Podcast, and we are so excited to have our guest today. We're going to talk about a little bit of women empowerment and being your own, aka a lady boss. So I am joined with Christen from Magikal Makings, and we're going to talk a little bit about how her starting her own business helped out not only her family situation, but her bank account. So, Christen, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, for the folks who don't know anything about your company, tell us a little bit about what you do, a little bit about yourself.
So, I am a woman-owned company. It's just me. I craft and create every single item that I sell. So, everything's handmade by me. I put a lot of metaphysical inspiration into all of my items. I try to keep my prices reasonable for everybody, while offering as best quality I can. But I like to say I have something handmade for everyone because I have quite a variety of items to offer.
You do, yeah. I went on your website last night, and I could see that there were lots of different choices, and they were unique. So I thought, if you're looking for a gift or something for a friend, especially like you said, if they like the metaphysical things and fairies and things like that.
Yeah.
Definitely. It almost reminded me of, I'm very old, I'm going to date myself, but do you remember the store Silver Dragon?
I love Silver Dragon.
Me too, right? So I totally got Silver Dragon vibes from your website.
A little Silver Dragon, a little Salem.
Yeah, all of that. All those things I love. I love them all. So so tell us a little bit about how you got into being your own entrepreneur.
Yeah, I've crafted and created pretty much my whole life. And after working, lots of retail positions, sometimes 2-3 full-time jobs, at a time, I was not spending time with my kids, and I was constantly stressed about trying to, make time for myself and my family. And, unfortunately COVID hit and a lot of negative things happened for a lot of people. And, I was home with my son trying to help him with schoolwork, and that got extended. And when I went to go back to my position, it kind of changed a bit. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do me. I like doing me. I enjoy being able to create things. I enjoy being able to create my own schedule and being a lady boss. And so I said, you know what? This is it. This is the time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this work, and I'm gonna do it. And so I did.
Yeah, and I think you're not alone. I think there were a lot of lady bosses created between 2019 to today. Yep. So and if you're one of those ladies who feels like you might be a lady boss just waiting to break out, we're here today to hopefully inspire you to go ahead and make that move. Because I was just explaining to Christen before her episode, which is just like, I don't know, we're like 4 or 5 at this point. And the one thing that we did find that is happening as we talk to people is we all kind of have the same story. Like you, like you said, you're used to like really grinding and working 2, 3, 4 jobs, and you definitely need that stamina and, being able to do that if you think you're going to be an entrepreneur and, work. Only working to this time, that's all that's happened. That's lies.
That's not a thing.
Yeah, it's not a thing. You do got to set personal boundaries, but it's not never going to be just like, 9 to 5.
No, it's not, and I joke all the time, and I'm like, yeah, I work 80 hours a week, so I don't have to work 40.
Yeah, amen.
I mean, it's what I do. I will tell you, it is the scariest thing in the world to jump both feet and say, this is going to be my income, especially with, a sales type business.
Yeah.
This time of year is tough.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I can do it, and as scary as it is, even now, my website just hit 1 year.
Yeah.
And I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'm doing it.
That's right. You're doing it. So, and I think one of the things that as you become a seasoned entrepreneur, you'll know what times of the year that you're going to make the most money, what times will be the low point, and then you'll capitalize and really work hard like you just came out of the Christmas season. So, Christmas season, I've got to do really well because I know January is a little bit slower.
January, February.
But yeah, so you're just working out.
Mhm.
So that way, when the busy season comes for your industry,
Yep.
you capitalize on that. And then,
Yeah. Now is the best time to create new products, to restock inventory, to
relook at your website,
Relook at
right?
your website.
Your website's been up a
take
year.
opportunities such as this
Yep.
one, reach out to people, build your client, base because, people aren't necessarily buying so much right now, but I knew that. And I was like, okay, so this is going to be the time.
So you planned your
I'm launching some new products coming out, working on them now. But yeah, it's just, it's learning those ebbs and flows that,
100%. So
happy after a year,
and that's great.
Yeah.
And that's great. And every year you get under your belt, you're going to feel more confident.
Exactly.
And it is, like you said, those ebbs and flows when you take that opportunity to work on your business, not in your business,
Mhm.
right? So when you hear people say that a lot, entrepreneurs, okay, you got to work on it, or,
Mhm.
if you don't, it doesn't grow. It stays either the same or stagnant or worse, right? Falls to the side. So the other thing I noticed very quickly about your business is that you are 100% the brand, and you are the brand.
Yeah.
You are the brand.
Yeah.
So you have great customer engagement. I found that very quickly. Also, talk to us about your 32 5-star reviews, been in business less than a year. A lot of business owners say they really struggle with either asking for the reviews or getting reviews. So share your tips, strategies.
So I heard like a small business tip session, and I was like, oh, let me log into this and whatever. And so I watched it, and I didn't realize how important reviews were. I never had. And I was like, well, no, it makes sense because, if you're going to go out to eat or go to you jump on Google. Everybody does.
Absolutely.
And I was like, oh, I don't have any reviews, because I've never asked for them. So I jumped on my page and I said, hey, you're all loyal followers. I love you all.
You've
Help
bought
me
my
out.
products. You've used my products.
If you don't like it, please let me know.
Yeah.
I want to change that for you. And just because doesn't mean I haven't had customers that aren't happy. But the thing is, I fixed it or did what I could to make it better. Because, I'm creating something, and it's not, our visions aren't going to align every 100% of the time. But for those positive reviews that I got on there, I just asked. And said, hey, if you have 5 minutes, here's my link. Pop on Google, let me know what you think. And, I got a bunch right away. And I was like, awesome.
Yeah.
And then it fell. And I was like, okay, nobody else is doing it. Well, because I'm not asking.
That's correct.
You have to ask every time, every sale. Whether you print out little cards that say, leave me a review, or after you purchase, I post on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. I'll post, a picture of the item and thank you so-and-so for your purchase.
Yep.
Jump on and leave me a review. You have to ask. You're never going to get them. People aren't going to do it themselves. They're going to, if they hated the experience, they'll do it themselves.
Of course they will.
Absolutely.
So what I loved, you really highlighted a couple really important things. So it isn't that you always got it right. It was that you acknowledged if something wasn't right and you fixed it. And so that built the loyalty from that customer, that you cared and valued them, right? Because that's the advantage that we have. If you think, the CEO of Walmart is reaching out to the lady who bought the leggings that, didn't fit right, that's not happening. No offense, Walmart, or any larger company, right? They don't have the availability to do that. Where being a small business, we really do, and it is that personal connection with your customer that makes small businesses so great. And so because you have that with your customers, the other thing I noticed is, she did a live the other day, and she's like, oh my God, it was like, I've not done too many of those. I watched, I thought it was great. Now, I'd never met you before, but by the end of that, I felt like I knew you. And I thought it was interesting because there were so many of your customers, like she had taken 2 weeks off, and there were so many customers like looking like, where you been? I missed you. Welcome back. And so that was cool to see that you weren't chasing your customers. It was almost the other way around, that they were like, they missed you.
Yeah.
So that's, definitely something that most small businesses would strive to have.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you think that you got to that point in just a year?
I probably put more of myself into my business than I should. I'm learning some of those boundaries, but I love it. a lot of those customers that you saw asking where I was or checking in, they've become friends. Yeah. For me, that sale doesn't end the second the product goes into the, in the mail.
Right.
I'm going to follow up. I'm going to ask, did you like it? Or did your niece like it? Or what, and I ask their opinions and I keep them involved. And like, I'm not going to go anywhere without you guys. And I often make sure that my customers know that they're my success. It's only so much of me.
Okay, and the podcast. That's it. There you need to know. That's pretty much it, guys. Wrapped up in a nutshell.
But yeah, so I think it's because I continue to show my appreciation for them that they want to know where I am. They like doing business with me because they know I care. Yeah, I care just about as much about what they're receiving as they care.
Yeah. So I'm gonna help you out. So that's not. Don't think that is the reason. That is 100% the reason why people love your product and love your company is exactly that. So that must feel awesome and amazing and empowering as a woman to like you created that, right? Like you said, lady boss. So if somebody is out there now in the listening audience and they are contemplating on doing it meaning starting their own business, what advice do you have for them?
Don't bite off more than you can chew. You don't go from zero to big box store in a day. It's going to be hard. It's going to be scary, but it can be done.
And it takes time.
And it takes time.
Yeah.
They say it takes 3 to 5 years for your business to really even, not everybody has as many, 5-star reviews as me right away, and I work really, really hard for that. But even after a year, if I didn't have that, doesn't mean I'm failing. It just means I need to readjust and work harder. Make sure that you do a lot of research on your business, your market, what you need to be successful, what things are going to work for you, what's not, and make sure you have the time. It takes a lot of time, especially in the beginning. It takes so much time.
Like whatever you think, double it or triple it.
At least. I have to tell you, I get over 500 notifications on my phone a day.
Yeah.
Over 500 a day. And if you look at my responses, you'll see that I 100% respond, quick response time. I am constantly engaging. It takes time, and it's hard work, but it is the most wonderful thing to know that you're doing well. And also, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
Advice, tax advice, business advice. Get as many, watch as many business podcasts or, get in as many, if you can take any college courses on marketing, and business strategies, do it. Not everybody can. I was not able to, but if you can, take in whatever knowledge you can.
That's go to Barnes and Noble, buy a business book. Hit a networking, networking groups. There's lots of business groups online that you can do right from home after hours. There's so many opportunities. You have to take them.
Yeah, you don't know it all. You will never know it all. And
no, you will never know it all.
I don't care how successful you are, you don't know it all. And if you want to keep growing, just make sure you're constantly taking in new information. Put yourself out there. Let me tell you, I was very nervous about doing this today. I'm still kind of
You're doing great. You're doing great.
But it's not progress if you're uncomfortable.
That's right. Yeah.
If you're not comfortable, you have to get outside of your box and just.
You have to do it.
You have to do it.
Yeah, you have to do it. I agree. That is all great advice. We talked about some of your successes. What would you say your biggest failure in business or biggest mistake was in business first starting out?
I'm not really sure because, like I said, although it's been a year, I'm still very new. I'm in that review stage right now, like looking at, what could I have done differently and whatnot. I do wish that I had started with an accountant right from the beginning because going into this year, I'm doing it myself and I'm kind of like, so if I had I'm learning like what I should have organized better and how I should have kept track of things better. And so, that's something I would suggest right off the bat is to, get a small business accountant. Because that's
so here's what I want to segue into.
Struggling.
Everybody's going to hate me for this, but I'm going to ask, did you put together a business plan?
I did put together a business plan. Probably not as detailed as I should have.
As it would have included who's my team.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So
so it was a very basic plan.
Some
and
tenants.
You know what? I plan on making another one adding to it, changing it going forward. I already have, a lot of changes that I'll be doing this year on the back end as far as how I'm going to run things. But yeah, it's that those little things you don't really think about because you're like, oh, I'm just starting the business. I'm not going to make that much. And then you look at the numbers and you're like, well, that's a little,
that's
not
right?
bad.
Not a bad problem at all.
But it is maybe I should have, and I didn't. And so that would be my advice is even if you just consult with somebody to say, hey, like, what should I be doing? Just do it.
Yes, absolutely. And even when you do have a plan, even though it's thorough, you still end up changing it 5 times.
Yep.
That happened to us for sure. So I think that is great. That is great advice. And I think all of us, no matter whether in year 1 or year 16, we are always going back and looking, what can we do better? What did we miss?
Yep.
What did we learn?
Right.
Do you use metrics in any kind of way to like drive your business, like what products sell more than others, or to use any type of metric system?
So a little bit. So like I just completed my inventory and, looked at, what sold this year, what didn't sell, what sold online versus what sold in store, what sold on the website. And so I am making changes, eliminating a couple products, saying, you know what, some people really love these, but not enough people really love these. And as much as I love making them, I can still do that, but not for my business.
Yeah.
And so I've definitely looked at things. It's hard to give up on any one product because I love them all, every single one of them. And then other ones that I'm like, well, I introduced a product in July. They're called fairy tales. Actually, I'm wearing one now.
Yeah.
I sold over 150 of them, and I was like, wow. And that's not
the name is even cool.
Yeah, and they weren't even on the website until like, a month ago.
Yeah. Wow.
And I'm like, okay, so this is something.
So you found something right away.
Yeah. So that started right. So going to focus more on that. So I definitely. Another thing I would change is to review that more consistently, not just on the year-end inventory. Go a quarter and say, all right, how much of that?
That's great advice. Yeah.
And look at that where setting up for live shows is very physically demanding. And if I'm not selling, the heavy glass jars, mason jars at live shows, don't bring them. If they're only selling online, just do them online. And again, that's knowing your market, knowing who's looking at what. So. Definitely looking at the numbers and seeing what works where and what should I invest more into and what should I back away from.
Yeah,
so I do look at the numbers.
That's great. That's great advice. What would you say? Or explain to us how having your own business has helped your family.
I took 2 weeks off for Christmas. It was my first time in my entire life that I was home with my family.
But
but not just that.
Yeah.
My son is a teenager now, and he wants to do more things with his friends and whatnot. And in my super busy season, I'm like, kiddo, like I've got a lot to do right now. But like in general, or taking a vacation, but not just like the time aspect, my mental health and my I'm not working to line the pockets of somebody else and constantly under stress about making somebody else's demands happen. Like I can choose what I want to focus on. And if something's not working or I don't feel it, I can change that. And that's allowing me to just be happier, more in the moment and more there for my family.
And yourself.
And myself.
Because it's easy to get burnt out.
It's easy to get burnt out. And, I'm learning. It's, again, it's that life-work balance still. But I'm learning that, I cannot fill my kiddos and my hubby's cup if mine's completely empty.
Yeah.
And having my own business, being my own boss, I can say, oh, my cup's empty. And so, hey, guys, I'm going to be away for a bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to take care of me. And it's also just, I'm happier doing it. I enjoy what I do. They say, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. I wouldn't say that's true.
Yeah.
I work very, very hard, but I love my work.
The time goes by faster.
Time goes by faster. I feel successful at the end of the day versus clocking out and going, well, that was a waste of my time. I love what I do. And that alone shows my kids you can do anything you want to do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but you can do anything. if you enjoy working at a store and that's what you want to do,
Sure.
do it. Do it.
Yeah.
I'm not the person to tell you what to do, but you can do anything. You can do anything you want to do.
Yeah.
And, I love, especially with my teenager who's like, he's a teenager. So, he's in that, I hate school, I'm not going to college.
I do know. My son is going to be 21 in June. I get it.
Yep. Yep. But you know what, kiddo? Work hard. If you don't want to go to college and get a regular job, work hard.
Yeah.
Work hard. Don't wait until, you've already put 20 years under your belt at somebody else's job.
I think that's the shift that the whole world has had
yeah.
in the last 3 years, and employers are like, oh, nobody wants to work. That's not really what it is.
No.
I think people just always want to have meaningful work that makes sense for them.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
It's a little bit more than, like you said, just making a paycheck.
Right.
For all of us. Right. So doing what you love, which is one of the reasons I had just talked about previously, why I decided to keep my childcare business relatively on the smaller side.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to scale up, right? Because everybody's always, the dream isn't all for all of us to scale until we're dead and we can't every second of our life, right?
Right, exactly.
But it allowed me to do other things like this. Like I enjoy talking to entrepreneurs, right? And so that lady boss is exactly that. If that's what I want to do on a Saturday or Sunday, I don't have to ask anybody's permission.
Right.
I do it myself. I'm able to buy my mic, buy my light, get my guy, right?
Get my guy.
So I'll do all those things that you want to do that fulfill you,
right?
To feel like you have some meaning. And I'm older than you for sure. But as you get older, those things really start to resonate. Like you don't want to have regret. You don't want to leave these things that you really wish that you wrote that book or did that podcast or was a guest speaker at such and such place. Those things are all empowering. And the earlier you do it, the more freedom you have.
Yeah. And I mean, I talk about my immediate family, my kids, my husband, I talk about those things, but my ultimate goal someday is to have a small brick and mortar. And you know what? I want to hire my brother to work in that store if he wants to. I want my sister to be my, media and marketing manager.
Yeah.
I want to be able to help them, in that way too. Yeah. And, my little's going to kindergarten, this year. And I'm like, what? If my business is in a good place in the next 6 months, part of my business plan is to hire my sister to help me with that marketing stuff. So, she can do that part of it and I can create more new things, And so I don't want, I help my family, but I want to help my family, And
I get it. We're a family-owned business.
Yeah,
I get
exactly.
Me and my sister are co-owners of Family Tree,
Yeah.
right? I get it. And my niece works there. My nephew works there. My daughter works there. My husband used to work there, but he's now retired. But yeah, like all of those things enable you to provide for your family. And it also gives them an opportunity to do things that they like or figure out what they like.
Exactly.
And I saw, I'm sure when you pulled in, you noticed this Light and Grace wellness spa.
Yep.
So it gave her an opportunity to do not only her family business, but also pursue other passions that she loved. And so you are able to do that when you have your own business.
Exactly.
That you can't normally do if you're just working for someone else. So that equity.
Right.
We do the sweat equity, but at the end of the day, you also get the equity and the enjoyment of what it is that you've created. Well, you certainly are on your way for sure.
Thank you.
So before we wrap up, is there anything that you would like to share that I didn't ask you?
I don't think so. Like I said, this is the 1 year anniversary of the website. I mean, I've done little shows and stuff for a long time. But as far as this being my full-time business, I just hit 1 year, and it's really empowering to say, hey, I'm still floating, still food on the table. Yeah. So you said I'm the face of my business. I try. I mean, my hubby tells me all the time that I'm a walking billboard. I constantly have products at all times, to show and share. And I just want to keep doing that. And, I want to keep growing. And this is the time to do it.
Yeah, I agree. So how many years do you think before you get a brick and mortar? Just curious.
So, I've thought a lot about that. And I would like to say 3 to 5, really dependent on economy, things look like, and so I don't have an exact way to tell when that will be. I'm not in a rush as in I need this to happen.
Sure.
That's the end goal. So I will wait as long as I need to make sure it's fiscally the smartest move to make.
Absolutely.
So it's in the plan as a, let's see how the world looks.
Yeah.
And if the world never turns around and brick and mortar is not the thing to do, then it's not
all online.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. So it's a goal withstanding the environment. I would love it. I would love to have a place where people can come in, shop my handmade creations, sit down, have some tea, bring a book if they want, a little bit more of a personal experience.
An experience. Absolutely.
Yeah. Not just like a place to go shopping. Like it's going to be,
or maybe it even looks like a collaboration with an existing brick and mortar that maybe it's the tea people.
Right.
And you're right.
Right. Yeah. So it's, I would love to say 3 to 5. I don't know what the world's going to look like at that point. And so
none of us do.
Exactly. So,
let's get through the next 3 to 6 months.
And that's it. So I can't control that. I can control how much I grow between now and then. Yeah. And so I will just keep growing until I get to the point that, if it's available to do, I will. But if it's not, that's okay too.
And most of your sales are online or most of your sales are at shows?
So again, with those metrics, some stuff I have literally never sold online, but I can't keep them in stock at shows and vice versa. So I would say, I would say 50-50, it depends on the time of the year. If it's very, very hot out or very, very cold out, I'm doing more online. Spring and fall, it shows. It shows. The website still needs a lot of growth. I only have a very small amount of my product on the website. I'm still learning how to do like the SEO stuff with that and get the website to grow. So that is actually some of that information I was saying, learn things. That's what I'm trying to learn right now.
Yeah.
I literally just figured out how to integrate my website and Facebook so that if the shop was the same. So, I'm learning all of that stuff. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping to double my sales this year on the website.
You will double your sales this year.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that once that happens, I want the website to do more of that online stuff for me versus me pushing it online.
Absolutely.
Which allows me to meet people. I love meeting people and
you're
talking about
you're onto something. You're onto something there. Most small businesses do a tremendous amount of business online as long as their website is right.
Yes.
As long as you've got your product photography, as long as you've got good descriptions,
right.
As long as your pricing is all of those pieces. So you're definitely onto something there. So before we wrap up, can you share your contact information where people would find you?
Absolutely. So I'm on all of the social media. It's, Facebook, it's Magikal Makings, and it's Magikal Makings. You can find me. The website is www.magikalmakings.com. Twitter, I'm not on. I apologize. But I am on TikTok and I am on Instagram. You can get the links right from my Facebook, right from my website. And you can always email me. It's magikalmakings@yahoo.com. So everything is just the business name.
We'll share your link on the episode too. Yep. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, if you love this content, please subscribe. Right there on the button. You see it. It's right on the top. Give us a comment. We love that. Let's engage. I love to talk. Let's talk about business. Thank you so much for tuning in to Practical Biz. See you later. Bye. Are you a business owner? Are ready to get your startup? Well, starting. Have a burning question you'd like us to answer? Want to know more about the services we offer? Or register for upcoming workshops and events? Looking to book a guest speaker? Or would like to be a guest on the Practical Biz podcast? Visit our website at stellabusinessconcepts.com.